Hi guys, I know I haven't posted about Talus in a while, but I came back from paternity leave back to work a few months ago, so I've been a bit busy. But, I've been still working on it, made some progress. I thought we'd do another devlog. In this devlog, I will talk about crafting, or how you will make your own items that don't drop from the ground, or how you can edit them using crafting. And just going to showcase a couple of methods that we have in the game so far that will probably be the core of item crafting. So just to begin with, I prepared myself a couple of item level 99 items just so that they can roll all the modifiers, just so I can showcase all the different modifiers that we can have. We have an armor, a body armor, and we have a one-handed weapon, so we're going to try and craft on those. So the way crafting happens, we have this usable item called a gemstone. We have about 30 different types of gemstones which all modify the item in some way, and you use the gemstones in the forge, which is like a separate UI where you can access and use the gemstones. Now, just before I show you the UI, I will immediately say that the graphics and the pixel art of the forge and the gemstones is not finished. It's just something taken off the internet just to test it functionally. So it doesn't look very good, but functionally it works, and I should hopefully be able to showcase how it works. So we're going to begin with looking in the forge. So here you have the forge and all the different types of gemstones. So just the first one that we look at, for example, we have a basic one that upgrades the item to magic rarity. Basically giving it a couple of modifiers. We have something like a gemstone of merging, which I think is quite an interesting idea. It merges two copies of the same unique item, keeping the highest value of each modifier. This is like an end game gemstone that you would be using at the end of the game to like make perfect unique items. Which is going to be pretty powerful. They're going to be pretty rare. For example, we have a gemstone of improvement, which rerolls the numeric values of all modifiers, but only keeps improved values. So this is very, very strong, and also going to be a very, very rare gemstone because this is just a pure positive. So it's going to be very rare. Obviously, I've generated, about 100 each just to showcase. But some of these are going to be very rare, some of them are going to be much more common. Here we have some that remove modifiers. So for example, here we have a gemstone that removes a random suffix modifier, a gemstone that removes the modifier with the lowest tier from the item, stuff like this. Here we have augmentation gemstones, which add a random modifier from a particular modifier group. So for example, we can have a damage modifier, which increases your damage, your elemental damage, stuff like this. We have, for example, critical augmentation, which would give you like critical chance, critical damage modifiers. And modifiers can have multiple groups. So for example, fire damage modifier would fall into the damage modifier group. It would fall into the elemental modifier group as well, and into the fire modifier group. Anyway, let's just going to showcase how it works. So let's start maybe with the body armor. So I right click it, place it into the forge. Now we can see a little summary of what the item looks like. So we're going to begin by upgrading it to a rare rarity. So we click the gemstone and then we can just click use. And it was automatically now used, and now we have a rare item. So we can have a look at what we have. We have an increased strength attribute, which is a prefix, magic shield prefix, dexterity prefix, and then we have 3 suffixes. One which reduces extra damage taken from critical strikes, fire resistance, and cold resistance. So this is okay, but I don't know what we're really looking for. Maybe we'll look for something with health and strength. So, this one's no good for us. So we have a gemstone of chaos, which rerolls all modifiers. So we can use that one a few times just to see if we get something reasonable. So let's have a look. Yeah, so for the prefixes now we have strength, health, and increased strength. All of those are very good for like a strength stacking health-based warrior, which I guess we are. The suffixes aren't great. We have health on kill and magic shield on kill. I mean, those could be good if we needed those, but probably not something that we're looking for on the body armor. So let's see if we can use. We have the gemstone of abolishing, so we can remove the suffix modifiers if we wanted. I believe we also have a gemstone of turmoil, which rerolls all suffix modifiers. So we like our prefixes, so we're going to leave the prefixes for now, and we're going to use the gemstone of turmoil to reroll the suffixes into something better. So here we have health regeneration and mana on hit. The health regeneration is good, the mana on hit not so much. So I think we're going to roll it again. We have plus 3% to all resistances, which is pretty good. Health on hit, which is pretty good. And fire resistance. So I think these we could potentially keep. I mean, those are pretty good. So yeah, we have an item like this. I mean, in the real game, if you had an infinite amount of gemstones, you would just use a bunch of like gemstone of refinement. Maybe no, you have a one which upgrades the tier. Here we go. We've got a gemstone of amplification, which is probably going to be one of the rarest gemstones, and upgrades the tier of a random upgradable modifier. So if we were to use that one, for example, we could upgrade any of these to a higher tier. The highest tier in the game is T1. So you can see we already have a T1 increased strength, so that one wouldn't be upgraded. We have T1 fire resistance, which that one couldn't be upgraded, but all the other ones we could just get them to T1 by using these gemstones of amplification, which we're going to do now just to illustrate how you could potentially get a perfect item. So we're going to get this one going and we're going to start using those. And if we spam it, spam, we now have all the T1 prefixes, T1 suffixes for all the modifiers that we have. Now, again, just to even illustrate even further how you can make perfect items, you have this gemstone of improvement, right, which rerolls the numeric values of all modifiers, but only keeps improved values. So we can spam this one a bit just to see if we can get like a perfect item. And here we are. See, so I used it like 30 of them, and you know, we have 99 strength. The roll is 90 to 99, as you can see there, 99 health, 12% increased strength, plus 20% to all resistances, gain 10 health on hit, and plus 30 fire resistance. So this is obviously like an amazing item at this point. So we can take that out and we can do something else with it. So I'm going to show you that now, because this was the first part of crafting that you can do, which is the forge. In addition to this, we also have an NPC called the Reforger. And for those of you who've played Diablo 3 or Diablo 4, this is basically like, I believe the Enchanter, I think it's called in Diablo. I don't remember exactly. But it basically allows you to reroll one modifier into something else if you like. However, it's worth mentioning that this introduces a constraint on the item where you will no longer be able to use gemstones on it. So this is like the final part of the crafting. Now, if we look at this item from like a warrior strength stacking warrior, probably the worst modifier that we have is this gain plus 10 health on hit. Maybe the plus 30% fire resistance, right? Maybe we have fully capped fire resistance and we don't need this fire resistance, so we could get rid of that one. But for the sake of this video, let's just say we want to get rid of this gain plus 10 health on hit. So we can click Reforge, and now it rolls this free. It allows us to keep the existing modifier, but it also has 3 new modifiers that we could use. From these, I don't know if anything is better. Maybe the plus 58 armor. Maybe if we're doing some armor stacking, probably a decent build on the warrior, so we can maybe keep that one. And at this point, once we've selected it, we can only change that one from now on. All the other modifiers are locked in place, so we can try and reforge that to see if we can get something better. None of these are better. Maybe if you needed mana, right? If you needed mana regeneration, that one could be good. This is a tier 2 plus 80% mana regeneration. Very, very good if you're short on mana, but assuming we want something more like armor, then we're going to keep the armor one, see if we can get something better. Nothing really too exciting here, so we're just going to roll it again. And for example, here we have tier 1 cold resistance, so that's really good as well. So we're going to choose that. And now if you look at the suffixes that we now have plus 20% to all resistances, plus 30% fire resistance, and plus 26% cold resistance. That is a lot of resistances in a single piece of item. And we can say that this item is now done. And basically it could be like our end game chest. Now, obviously I was able to do this because I have, as the developer, I have an infinite amount of all these gemstones. Naturally in the game, they will be balanced so that, you know, some of the more powerful ones are a bit rarer, while the more common ones, less deterministic ones will drop a lot more. But just wanted to showcase some of the options. Now, just for fun, let's also do the weapon, right? I promise we'll do the weapon. So let's just go for the same process, upgrade it to a random rarity. So let's see what we have here. We have increased energy damage in the prefix, chance to deal double damage. Chance to deal double damage is very good. And we have gain 3% of cold damage as extra energy damage. So this is a conversion type suffix. We have cold resistance, energy resistance. The suffixes are probably not very good. However, the prefixes are pretty good. So I would potentially consider seeing if we can get some of a good prefix on. Now we only have a prefix open, which means that if we use a gemstone of damage augmentation, for example, it will add a random damage prefix. So I think we could try that, see if we get something good on the weapon. And we got plus 9 physical damage. Now this could potentially be really good. Unfortunately, doesn't really work with the increased energy damage modifier that we have as the prefix. So let's see if maybe we can hit removing either the energy damage or the physical damage, depending on, you know, what we don't need. So let's roll down. That removed the suffix, so we don't care about that. Remove the double damage chance. So now this item is pretty much bricked, because the chance to deal double damage was the most valuable modifier on this weapon. So we're just gonna roll it again from scratch and see if we can get something good. So now we have T prefix again for the increased energy damage, but we also have some flat energy damage, which is excellent. I can tell you that this T1 prefix for flat energy damage is very, very good. We have fire resistant, poison resistance, and gain 13% of physical damage as extra fire damage. So the suffixes, again, aren't very good. We'd like to get rid of this T6 prefix, this strength. We probably don't really need it on an energy-based weapon build. So what we're going to do, because I can see this is the lowest tier modifier, this is a tier 6 modifier, we can use the gemstone of repeal, which removes the modifier of the lowest tier from the item. So if we use that, that removed their strength prefix, and now we can again try to add a better prefix. Maybe we can use a crit energy build, so maybe we use critical augmentation and add a critical modifier. Unfortunately, there is no available prefix modifier of crit. I suppose all critical modifiers are suffixes for this weapon type, so we can't do that. Maybe we can use, what else? We have another energy. Let's see if we have another energy one. I don't think so. No, we had another energy one. There we go. We rolled this T1 prefix, plus 95% increased damage against shocked enemies. Shocked is a status on the enemy that is related to the energy damage. So if you look at the prefixes now, they're very good for like an energy type weapon. Increased energy damage, flat energy damage, and increased damage against shocked enemies. So that's very, very good. Now we just need to sort out the suffixes. So again, we're going to reroll suffix modifiers. So we have plus 12% of energy damage converted to physical damage. Now that could be very interesting. This could be very, very interesting with a conversion type build. I don't really know if we want to be worrying about that too much at this time, but this could be an interesting modifier for sure. But let's roll for something else. We've got 3 different conversion modifiers here. Don't need that many. Definitely wouldn't really work. We have what? Fire resistance, energy resistance. So more conversions. Cold resistance, energy resistance, conversions. I think maybe the suffixes that are available are pretty much just fire resistance, energy. Oh, here we have ignite, applied multiplier. That would be good if we were running a fire build. Obviously, maybe we can get something for shock, or maybe we can just get something that's reasonable. Here we got an all resistances modifier, which is pretty good on the weapon. Let's just keep this. I don't want to make this video too long. So here we have some energy resistance, some bleed applied multiplier, and fire damage converted to cold damage. Obviously, those suffixes aren't very good. So you know what? I'm just going to remove those, and I'm going to keep these prefix modifiers. Now I'm just going to improve the item to be perfect, like in the previous video, just to show. So again, gemstone of amplification to upgrade the tier. Gemstone of improvement to improve the values, so we can roll perfect values. There we go. Now we have 99, 15, 99. Now, something I didn't also mention, we've also got base attributes on each item. In this item, we have plus 2 to 4 damage, as you can see, and we also have a gemstone to improve that. So, for example, we could use this gemstone of simplicity, which rerolls the numeric value of the base attribute of the item. So we can use that one to see if we can get... Yeah, there we go. Now we have plus 4 added damage. So now this item has basically perfect prefixes, perfect base attributes. So we can take that out. If we wanted to, we could now also go to the Reforger. We could stick that in here and reroll something. However, we're not going to do this because you only really want to go to the Reforger once you have at least, once you have 6 modifiers, at least 5 of which you're happy with, then you can take the 6th one and reroll it. So obviously we don't want to be doing this on this weapon because it doesn't yet have that many modifiers. And then once we use the Reforger, then we couldn't craft on it anymore. So that wouldn't be very good. And yeah. This is basically what I wanted to show you guys today. These are the 2 crafting systems to make your perfect item just for your build that we have in the game. So it's a bunch of gemstones. Like I say, the UI, very simplistic for the time being. It's just, you just select the one you want and craft. Obviously, I'm going to try to make that look a lot better by release time. And the Reforger is the second method just to finish off your items. Obviously, as the game develops, there's going to be way more different types of crafting. There's probably going to be... Yeah, I'm not going to speculate actually what I'm going to add. There's a lot of ideas in my head to be able to make and craft items. I think it's very important for players to be able to craft their own items and not just loot something from their floor. I think that's something really cool in ARPGs, and I definitely want to make that happen. Anyway, that's what I have for you today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. This is Talus Devlog number 2. crafting. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.